Hello everybody, today I would like to show you this tutorial. This is one of the Tinkercad tutorials. It is making a chess pawn. So it says in this lesson you will learn to design a traditional chess pawn. Let's get started. Okay, drag the cylinder shape to the work plane. And it's really nice, they give you this little orange circle so you can kind of see what you're going to do. Should have mentioned that at the end our chess pawn will end up looking like this. One thing I want to point out, when I pull it out, I can also turn around and change things like the number of sides that it has. New default for Tinkercad is 48, but you can put it up to 128 if you want to. So we have our cylinder, and we'll go to our next step. Scale it smaller to a height of 3 millimeters. Now, there's a couple things I could do here. I do not have any control of it here, like I do on some shapes. And so I have it here. I can click and drag down to 3 millimeters. Or if I undo that with Control Z, I can also click on here and I can type in 3 and enter. So a couple different ways to do that. Go to step 4. Let's add a new work plane. Drag a work plane to the top of the cylinder. The shortcut is W. This is the work plane. And what this tool does is when I click and drag it here, when I bring shapes out, they'll now be at that height, which is kind of cool. The tool is less useful now because you can also, even without it, I'm going to reset it. If I go to set shapes on top, it will move my work plane automatically. But the work plane tool is kind of nice to have that so you have more control over it. Step 5. We're going to grab a cone. Drag a cone to the top of the cylinder. The new shape will just land on the work plane you just created. Like I said, the work plane tool, you don't need it anymore, but it's nice to have so you can see where things are. And if I was to move my work plane and drag it here, it would then line up there later when I needed it. Step 6, scale the shape shorter to a height of 11 millimeters. Once again, I can click and drag or type it in. I'll just click and drag right now. Our next, add a sphere shape. Drag the sphere shape to the work plane. Now, as I mentioned before, the work plane tool adjusts, and as you can see it's not going there. So if I move it to the side, I can now use the arrows to put it where it's supposed to be. Step 8, let's make the sphere a little smaller and squish it. Scale the sphere to a diameter of 18 millimeters and squish it. Scale it shorter to a height of 18. So if I click here, I can see these two. Now I can move them to 18. You can see it moves it unevenly. So I'm going to undo that for a moment. If I was to hit shift while I was doing this, you can see it does it proportionally. That way these two sides are the same. I don't want to be doing that when I do this next part, which is squishing it to 5 millimeters. Like that. And move it to the target area in the orange. Zoom in a little bit, and we can move it a little bit like that. All right. Drag a cone to the work plane. And then we scale it to a diameter of 14 millimeters. Once again, I'm going to hit shift while I do this so the two sides stay the same. And scale it to a height of 28. So I'm going to turn around and just do that. We can see this shape fits there very well. Now there are some things I can change here. I can change the number of sides on it and make it look a lot smoother that way. But move it to the orange part right there. Lift the cone 3 millimeters off the work plane. So if I look right here, I have this little black arrow or red arrow as I'm over it, and I lift it 1, 2, 3. Now, another thing I can do is if I don't want to lift this black arrow or I can't find it, I can hit the control button and the up arrow, and it goes 1, 2, 3. Okay, that gets us to step 11. Step 12, you will need to drag another cone out. So I have my other cone. scale it to size of 12 with a height of 19. So hitting shift so I can get both of these at once, moving it up to 19, putting it in the target zone, moving to my next step. Rotate the position of the cone. Now I have these little curved arrows, and as I go to rotate, if my cursor is on the outside, you can see it does individual degrees, but if I am on the inside, you can see it does more solid. That makes it easier to get to that 180. It says to move it to the orange part. Now I'm a little bit low. I'm not sure why, but I'm going just to do control up like that. Okay, and we can see I'm in the orange zone now. So I go to my next step. Let's move the work plane. Drag the work plane to the top of the cone, which is really just the bottom of the cone you just flipped. So I can do this work plane tool right here. I could have also hit W for that as the shortcut. Add a sphere to the work plane. So here is my sphere. Now I'm going to adjust the size. It says scale the sphere to 8 millimeters. It has this hint, and it's going to tell you what I've been telling you before. Holding the shift on the keyboard will scale the shape in all directions. So if I hit this, you can see it stays as a sphere. It does not get smashed. I get it down to 8. And then I drag the work plane to the original work plane, just like that. And then I turn around and I select all the shapes. You're going to be right that it does not look like the pawn right now, but if I select the shapes and I use my alignment tool, right like that. Okay, align all the shapes in the middle and the front. Select all the shapes and use the group button. The hint, if you know if the group action worked, if all the shapes become the same color. So if I group it, you're going to see that it's going to probably turn it orange. The only reason it wouldn't is if you're on color and you happen to hit multicolor, then it won't be, but we're going to take multicolor off. Okay, and here we have the chess pawn. Now, we get here and it's going to celebrate it. What I oftentimes tell my students to do is that they should turn around and customize it. And an easy way to customize it, once again, grab that work plane tool and you can drag it to the bottom. Yeah, I can see that I've already customized this one with my initial on the bottom. Now, what this is nice for is when I grab my text, it'll be oriented the correct direction for this. And I'm going to change my text and I'm going to put whatever I want there. In this case, a W. I'm going to make it a hole. I can make a few changes if I want it to look more like that. Well, let's go for that one. Now, I want it to fit on the pawn, and I don't want it to be stretched out of shape. If I do that, it's going to look kind of weird. So I'm going to use shift once again. That shift is really nice. Now, as it is right now, this shape is not in my pawn. Because I've inverted my work plane, if I hit the control and down, you can see it will send it into the pawn a little bit. You don't need to go much into the pawn, just a little bit. And if I select those and group them again, you can see the bottom, I have my initial, and that's how you put that on. You can do other customizations. You could change shapes out. If I didn't want the sphere on top, I could go for the icosahedron. I could put a star, I could give it a mustache. There's all sorts of shapes here. And so I do encourage, after you've done it, you have it working, looking right as the traditional pawn, go and make it an untraditional pawn. Well, thank you for watching and good luck with your designs.